Hello everyone, and welcome to our very first episode of our new show, Bardtender, a show where I will teach you how to make cocktails that are featured on our Dungeons & Dragons show called Growing Campaigns. If you'd like to catch Growing Campaigns, you can watch it, our pre-recorded episodes, live 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. If you can't make it on Sunday, we will release the VODs and the audio files the next day on YouTube. You can also find it on our website. There'll be a link down below on DutchMasterGaming.com. So first, I will teach you how to make the cocktail. I have all the ingredients laid out. And then afterwards, if you'd like to stick around, I will tell you about one of my favorite creatures, ghouls, and how I like to run them. Our first cocktail is a Pimosa that we've affectionately named Ghouls Blood. So first, let me show you how to make our cocktail Ghouls Blood. Laid out in front of you is everything you'll need to make this very simple cocktail. I have 2 jiggers here that help me portion out our ingredients. Then I just have a cocktail mixer. So first I took 4 ounces of champagne. I chose Prosecco. And then I have 1 ounce of pomegranate juice. Now because the champagne is carbonated, I'm not going to shake this in my mixer. I'm just going to give it a light stir and give it a gentle pour into our champagne flute. Once the cocktail is transferred into our champagne flute, I'm going to grab a blackberry and go ahead and just put it right in our drink for our garnish, completing our cocktail, the Ghouls Blood. Now we created an alternate version of this drink, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour our cocktail into this martini glass, being careful to leave this little blackberry behind. And I'm just going to add half an ounce of dry gin. Now, adding this little bit amount of dry gin just gives it a little bit of that traditional dry gin flavor, adding a little bit of complexity to our already delicious cocktail. To top it off, I'll take a stir and a blackberry. I'll go ahead and mix up the drink and complete our cocktail we call Ghast Blood. Enjoy. So the last segment of our show, I'd actually like to talk to you about the creatures our cocktail is named after. One of my favorite creatures, ghouls. So how I like to run them is maybe you have a new band of adventurers, maybe 2nd or 3rd level. They're trying to make a name for themselves in their new environment. Maybe they've defeated a few baddies and kind of have their name going around town. Maybe a local prince has heard of these adventurers and has a favor to ask of them. So he reaches out and tells them about the king's crypt, where there's this artifact locked away, and he needs these adventurers to go and retrieve the artifact. Accepting the quest, your adventurers would dive into this crypt, and you'd throw a few lesser undead at them, maybe some skeletons or zombies. And as they're going through the crypt, they finally make it to the king's tomb. Here, you'll maybe dangle a magical item in front of them, one that requires attunement. So they have the item, but they can't use it yet. And while they're celebrating and the relief is over, their confidence high as they just destroyed these easy baddies, these bluish, gray-skinned undead with a twinkle of intelligence come crawling out of the boarded-up walls and out of the ground and look at them with their writhing tongue and piercing teeth, staring at them with an unquenchable hunger. Now, combat persists, and how I like to run ghouls is like they're a pack of wolves. They're pack hunters, and maybe they all team up on one of the adventurers, paralyzing him, and then one of the ghouls starts dragging him away, digging into him while he's paralyzed. The others then focusing on another adventurer, splitting up the party, causing just absolute chaos and stressing them out, probably. Now, we'll say our adventurers were successful in this very difficult encounter. They go back to the prince, and maybe your adventurers are now starting to question, why are there undead in this crypt? Did the prince know about it? Are people bringing them there? Are they protecting this? Maybe the prince actually has a dark alternative motive and needed you to go get this item that the king had stored away and put these undead there to protect. Now you have a whole nother story arc. Maybe they don't ask about the undead at all, and you could just chalk it up to funny circumstances, and maybe the prince is a good guy. But either way, you have a few different arcs you can take this, and you have a fun way to run a difficult low-level encounter with one of my favorite creatures, the Ghoul. So lastly, I would like to thank you all for tuning in and learning how to make our first featured cocktail, Ghouls Blood. Don't forget to check out our website, DutchMasterGaming.com, and find where you can watch our show 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and watch us run some encounters, much like this one I described to you today. Our first season of Growing Campaigns is, I'll be running Curse of Strahd through our Spooky Boy campaign, and if our players are able to survive, they'll be embarking out into the world I created of Kligo Terra. Tune in and enjoy. And again, cheers.